At the southernmost tip of South America, shared by Argentina and Chile, is a region with mountains, lakes, fjords, glaciers, deserts, and steppes. Welcome to Patagonia. Welcome to Paper Ink and Passports Travel. Today I am talking with Mauricio. He is the Regional Sales Manager for Abercrombie Kent, South America, based in Santiago, Chile. Mauricio, thank you so much for coming and talking with me today.
Hey, Sarah. Hola, everybody. Very pleased, and thank you for inviting me for this conversation about Patagonia today, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, as you mentioned, I'm based in Santiago. I am the regional sales manager for Abercrombie Kent, South America. So maybe you are familiar with the brand Abercrombie Kent. It's a global company actually with 55 offices in 30 countries. And I work with 5 offices in South America, in 5 of those countries in South America, based from Santiago. But today, it's a conversation about Patagonia.
Yeah.
Then, therefore, we work Patagonia with our offices, local offices in Chile and Argentina. Right? So when we organize travels, we have different ways and different programs we can offer to our guests. So Abercrombie & Kent has like a dedicated group travel programs that we call the luxury small group journeys, which is no more than 18 passengers, and every departure is granted with 2. And we organize an itinerary that works very well when you travel on small groups, with staying on the best hotels and covering the areas that are of the highest interest for the travelers. And we have one of those for Patagonia, combining Argentina and Chile. You know, we start in Buenos Aires, we end in Santiago. That's one of them. I can tell you more about this itinerary in a few minutes. Of course, we have also another way to visit Patagonia we have a special programs on the jet, which is wings over Argentina, Chile, and Brazil. And one of the stop is in Patagonia as well. But also we have like tailor-made programs for individual travelers that want to do, a different itinerary. They have some preferences about the different hotels, or they want to tailor the excursions according to their level of fitness, or because they've heard about a special location and they want to go there. And so we work together with you, Sarah, on customizing those itineraries according to your, clients' interests, really.
Yeah.
And that's why we have our local offices with our own staff, Argentinian staff and Chilean staff, that are really the experts on the destination.
Yeah,
That's
and
how we work.
it's a great overview, and we've had the chance to do a few videos with some other on-sites. We call them destination management companies, or DMCs.
Exactly.
And so your offices in Chile and Argentina and globally are a DMC, so that when we're working, everything is tailored to my client's wishes or needs. And correct me if I'm wrong, but A&K staff are with my clients, 24/7. The guides are A&K guides. The drivers are A&K drivers, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, the difference that when you travel with Abercrombie & Kent is that we keep the same standards, worldwide. Meaning we are focused on offering like high quality travel and also innovative options, to offer new things, and always looking for, new experiences for our travelers that usually are very well traveled. So they want to discover and have very authentic experiences. So in order to do that is why we have our local offices and we work with the local specialists. So our A&K guides are people that are very well, trained on the A&K standards, and they are, of course, specialists on the destinations. And they will be with our guests, with your clients, during all their time on the destination. And our office is there also to take care of them 24 hours, 7 days a week. So if there any situation, any delay in a flight, or travel is about sometimes this kind of things, but we are here to resolve those special situations. And most of the time, it turns out that we have the opportunity to even improve the experience of the clients because we are here on the ground.
Yeah. One thing I always say is that even though I am a specialist in adventure travel and in certain destinations around the world, I'm really a specialist in my clients. And I work with a DMC like A&K who are specialists in a destination, and pairing, you and me working for my clients, we can really create something that's authentic and experiential and completely what my clients want.
That's absolutely the best situation, when you know very well your clients' preferences, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, if they have any allergies or food preferences. So you give us that information beforehand when we are preparing, everything for them, making sure that, once they are in our hands, they don't have to worry about anything. We have all the details from you already. Yeah. And we make sure that every tour, every exploration we organize for them is just according to their interests. And we will try, of course, to surprise them, but according to what they are interested in seeing and learning. And we have so many like insiders access. So we use all that knowledge, but tailored to what the client is really interested in. And it's very important with destination like Patagonia, which is a remote, isolated destination where we have beautiful options, and sometimes more options than because Patagonia is a destination that it's maybe in the mindset of maybe every traveler, and they may be thinking about a big glacier when they think about Patagonia, or they think about those rocky formations I have here, right? But Patagonia is actually much more than that. It's obviously, those are the highlights, but it's a big region in South America that takes two countries, Chile and Argentina, and there are different landscapes. They have the glaciers, they have the mountains, the big lakes, the wild rivers, you have the fjords, and you have so many options to cover this ground, and you need many days, but depending on the time your clients have, their interest, and their way of traveling, we will organize something that is just customized to them. And Patagonia has that. It's a wonderful destination, and wildlife and outdoors. It's all about that. But we have from very like contemplative activities, just get on a van or a jeep and you stop on some lookout point, take beautiful pictures, breathe in and take in all these beautiful landscapes. But we also have those very strenuous hikes, to the base of the towers that you see behind me, and horseback riding, kayaking, all these active or more active, options. It will depend on what your clients are looking for. And
how many, I think we'll kind of step back slightly. You fly down to Santiago from the US or Canada, you possibly to Buenos Aires, and then you maybe spend some time there, or maybe that's where you spend time on the return. But how many days do you suggest for Patagonia?
A dedicated Patagonia trip will take you, since the day you step out your door and you're back, it will be maybe 2 weeks, a 2 weeks trip. But we can design it in less if you have less time than that. Patagonia is so, appealing destination that many travelers don't know they have to come to Chile or to Argentina. Maybe they know about Argentina, but they don't know about they have to fly to Santiago. And Santiago is an international airport, which is the gate for our Patagonia, the Chilean side of the Patagonia. And there are many direct flights from the US or from Canada. So it's very well connected. And it's a city that, people don't know much about it. And actually, they are not so interested about anything else, just Patagonia. But once they are here, they, they are also meeting other travelers on the way, and they're sharing history about, well, I went to the Atacama Desert. What's that? Oh, I went to the Lake District. And did you go to the wine region? Did you go to Valparaiso? So they realize that there is much more than that.
Yeah.
So we don't want your clients to have that kind of experience. We want to tell them beforehand, if you're coming this way down to Patagonia, look, you have those options. Santiago is a great modern city, just few miles away from the coast. Valparaiso is UNESCO World Site Heritage. We have the wine country in Chile is very famous because of the wine we produce. So, and you can have a full day covering, kind of that experience before getting down to Patagonia, or maybe at your return. And on the way to Patagonia, maybe you can do this and that. So we will be able to tell you more about it. And something very important to take into consideration are the distances. Because, well, Patagonia, it's about 4 hours flying from Santiago, So you have some people that say, no, I want to fly to Santiago and the same day connect to Punta Arenas and then go to the Patagonia. Okay. Hold your horses, because you will arrive to Santiago around 7 a.m., 9 a.m. That's the time frame for the American flight. And then you will have to do immigrations. It will take you maybe a couple of hours before taking your flight to Punta Arenas, which is maybe 3 hours and a half if you do it directly. But then, if you want to go directly to this place, the park, picture behind me, it is about 5 hours driving.
Okay.
It's a scenic, beautiful, landscape scenery, but it's a distance. So take it easy. After your international flight, take some time to rest in Santiago, to make the most of your stay there. And then the following day, or maybe in a couple of days, fly down, and we will organize it in a way that you will enjoy your journey to Patagonia and not suffer with it, on the way to get there.
Yeah.
So the main airport is Punta Arenas for the Torres del Paine National Park, and it's about 5 hours driving. There is another airport located closer to the park, which is in Puerto Natales. But that airport works only during the high season, which is another point on our conversation here.
That was my next question.
When is the best time to go?
Yeah.
Right? So the best time to go, usually people have in their mind that you have to come only during the summer. Like our summer, your winter, it's December, January, February. And that's because the weather conditions are the more stable and the safest if you want to do the hike, the trekkings in the park. Because one of the famous circuit there, one of the famous trail is the W trek, the W circuit. And that is taking you around those big rocky formations for about 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
And you stay in camps, or in cabins. And yes, you need good weather to do that. But nowadays, and our travelers profile, I'm not so much doing that. They come here, they want to stay at the beautiful lodges, very comfortable, explore during the day, get back to, a very comfortable bed, great wine and food, and that's what we offer. And for that experience, actually, you can come even earlier to Patagonia. Okay. So even in October, during our spring, and it's actually a very good time to come because the park's not that crowded.
Okay.
There is less people coming, and the colors are just beautiful, and the weather is already very nice.
Yeah.
And you can come from October to March, even April.
Okay.
And as you know, lately the climate has been changing, and sometimes even in May, we have very good weather in Patagonia, or even September.
Yeah.
So most of the beautiful hotels and lodges that you may know that we have around the park open their doors around September, October, and they close around April, May, depending on the hotels. Some of them are open almost all year round. Actually, once I went in July to the park with snow. So, well, I was 4 days there, and every day was a different climate, But the park with snow, it was beautiful, and we have a great experience. So, but really, if you want to make the most of the park and the hike and the trails, um, the best time to come maybe is around November to April, and then we can also arrange beautiful trips during October and May, depending if we find the right hotel open on that date. Mm-hmm. So yes, this airport that I was mentioning to you is located about 1 hour and a half driving from the park, is the closest one in Puerto Natales, but the flights operate only during the peak of the season, like January, February. Okay. It's a seasonal flight, so we will have to check that very carefully before, making the itinerary for your clients. Otherwise, from Punta Arenas, you take like a first leg to Puerto Natales is about 3 hours driving. We make a nice stop at the typical restaurant in the area for refreshing, having a coffee or eating something, of course, and then we continue to the park. That's usually how we do it. But also, nowadays, you have other options that are not inside the park or around the park, but closer to the town, to Puerto Natales. And you have beautiful hotels there, like the Singular Hotel, which is a very interesting property that was built just beside an historical monument that tells a lot about the history of Patagonia by the pioneers in the area. So it's a different experience. It's not just next to the park, but they take advantage of that. They are more flexible in the dates. They are more flexible in the tours they can offer. They go to the park, of course, but also they can go to other places in Patagonia that usually people don't go, So there's always something different to offer to your clients. And sometimes you may spend a night in that area and then go to the park to break, this long journey. Mm-hmm. And Torres del Paine National Park, it's also very easy to combine with another highlight in Patagonia, which is on the Argentinian side, right? Which is this big glacier you might have seen on the pictures called Perito Moreno, mm-hmm. which is the biggest glacier in South America, and it's located in El Calafate, on the Argentinian side. And it takes you about 4 to 6 hours driving from the park to El Calafate. You have to cross immigrations, and that's more or less the time it will take you. But you're driving on very, very scenic roads, and we will take care, of course, of doing that for you in a very comfortable way. And then in El Calafate, again, you have beautiful properties. We can recommend it there, and very nice excursions. Including, of course, the visit to this big glacier.
Mm-hmm. I read that there are restrictions in hiking the glacier. Age restrictions.
They are, and they're more related to like safety measures and, of course, insurance coverage. Mm-hmm. So there's an age. Very small kids are not allowed, very elderly people either. So you have to be mobile, have some fitness, and it's not so strenuous. But there's those kind of restrictions in order to just, that always the most important thing is to take care of our guests and make sure they are safe during the time they are traveling with us. So, of course, those details, we will discuss them on beforehand, and according to the profile of your clients, we can do that, hiking doing an ice, trekking on the glacier, or we can find another very nice option for them if they're,
Yeah. What I mean, Patagonia is a very active destination we've discussed. This would be a good destination for people who've maybe done New Zealand and are looking for something a little similar but very different. What other types of clients would Patagonia be? I mean, it's probably on a lot of bucket lists, but who's the ideal client for Patagonia?
Well, the ideal client for Patagonia, I would say that it's the traveler that really enjoy being in remote destinations, isolated places, that love the outdoors, that love wildlife, that enjoy being on the different landscapes and learn about different cultures as well. Because it's not only a landscape, there are people there that made history, the pioneers. Actually, we have some experiences with what are the Patagonian cowboys that we call the gauchos.
Uh-huh.
And it's a very particular, lifestyle. And we have some horseback riding with them, learn how to prepare our mate. Have you heard about the mate? It's like a green tea with, so we share with them a little bit of their experience. And it's also, we give that opportunity to connect with the people of the place, not only the landscapes. And the wildlife is just amazing. And it's also unique, not everywhere you will be able to see condors, or cougars. We have pumas in Patagonia. And there are some deers that are very endemic to this area. And also, even if we call it Patagonia as just one place, it's very different landscape. So you won't see the same like geology in the Chilean side or in the Argentinian side. So here in the park, the towers and the cones here are the most famous picture, but it's a big, big park. There are several lakes and rivers on it. And the ecosystems also are different, and the landscape changes every time when you are driving around the park. And beautiful birds and animals, and I would say people that enjoy that atmosphere and environment will feel very at ease. And also it's for people that, for our clients that are very used to travel comfortably, because, we work with our local partners there that have very comfortable vehicles, great guides, and very knowledgeable. And the facility of the luxury lodges over there are amazing,
Yeah, you're certainly not giving up any creature comforts to go to
exactly. So it's for those kind of clients that really wanted to spend a little bit more time connected with themselves, on most of those places, you will have access to internet. Maybe not very strong signal in some areas, but sometimes it's for the better. It allows you to really connect with the place you are when you're traveling with your partners, with your family, with your kids. That helps you to create stronger bonds sometimes and to enjoy these places. It challenges sometimes yourself to do activities that are beyond your zone of comfort. Sometimes, you want to really make the most of your stay in the area. And we work with local experts, guides, and hotels that we provide an amazing service and an amazing experience for all of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the traveler that will appreciate being there.
It's a little bit like an expedition cruise on land. Every day is a little different. You're out exploring. It sounds amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah, actually, you can have some readings, before traveling and have more or less an idea of what is available there as a tour or expeditions or explorations. But how it works really is that those, at least on the Chilean side, around the park, you just have those hotels and nothing else. The closest city or town is 1.5 hours distance. So really no one lives in the area except the hotels or lodges. So those lodges work as a a sort of all-inclusive hotel. So it's their own stuff. The guides, it's their own guides. The vehicles are their own vehicles. So they operate and runs their own explorations and tours. So how it works is that when you arrive there, you have a conversation with the chief of guides and say, okay, well, what would you like to do during your stay in the park? We have those options. And it shows you in the map, okay, we can go here, we can go there. Are you interested in glacier? Well, we also have nice glaciers here in this area, so you can see that or this. Would you like to see condors? Let's go and watch condors. Let's try to, watch some pumas, because lately the population of pumas is a bit more active in the park and less shy. And you can see some of them, but in some areas, and they know where. So they will discuss with you and say, okay, tomorrow maybe we can do this, the following day that. And it's according also how you're feeling. If you feel like you need a morning staying at the spa of the hotel, having a massage, or just taking it easy, it's also a possibility. So we and our partners in the ground are always focused on the guests, what they're feeling like, and how to make the most of their stay in our place.
Yeah. Wonderful.
And so usually you spend maybe a couple of nights in Santiago, or one night at the beginning, depending how much you want to explore around Santiago. As I said before, Valparaiso is an interesting spot to visit. Wine country also, a full day to one country can be also appealing. The city itself can offer also nice experiences, great restaurants, nice food. So it depends on if you're interested in doing things around Santiago. 1 or 2 nights can work. And then in the park, or in Patagonia, in the Torres del Paine National Park, we recommend at least 3 nights. If you can do 4, better, to really make the most of it. Because as I explained before, just to get there, it will take you almost, a day or half a day, right? So the first day, you're not really doing much. So that's why at least 3 nights, right? And then if you continue and want to explore some of the Argentinian side and want to, admire this big glacier in El Calafate, there a couple of nights or 3 nights, depending if how much more you want to explore in the area, will be good. If you are like a very die-hard trekker, you want to go to El Chalten, where the Fitzroy Mountain is. And that is about 2 hours driving from El Calafate. So that's a possible extension for people that really love going to those trekking places. And in El Chalten also, there are beautiful options of hotels, little hotels, and luxury lodges. Coming soon, if you're aware about the Explora brand, which is famous in Patagonia, they are now building a hotel in El Chalten, opening hopefully by the end of this year. So there are other options, Otherwise, 2-3 nights in El Calafate, and then you fly out to Buenos Aires. Another possibility, and that depends on your own bucket list, right?
Yeah.
You can go to the southernmost city in the continent, which is Ushuaia. From El Calafate, you fly in an hour and few minutes, you are there, and you can spend also sometimes in Ushuaia exploring that part of the world, the end of the world, as we can call it. And that's also another possibility of the extension. So it will depend on your time and interest if you want to do something else. Otherwise, you go directly to Buenos Aires and spend there at least a couple of days in Buenos Aires. It's a beautiful city, so many options, very special culture, food is great. You have to go and try the meat there. The barbecue, the Argentinian barbecue is something else. And of course, tango. Why not taking some tango lesson? Well, at least go and watch a show, a tango show. That will do it. And that in total, if you count the number of nights I was mentioning, it will take you around 10 days or more. Depending on if you want to extend or explore a little bit more, extending from Calafate to one of those places, or even in Chile, if you want to do more and you want to take advantage of being already there and visiting the driest desert on earth, which is Atacama, which is a very special place, because if you think about the desert, you will think about sand dunes and nothing else. Well, that's not it. It's an altitude desert. It starts at 8,000 feet, and the landscape changes every time. So you can see, on the horizon, snow-capped volcanoes, because it's just next to the Andes, salty lagoons, salt flats, geysers, fields. So it's also a very nice destination to go and to visit and make a very interesting contrast, fire and ice when you go then to the glacier. That's another option you can combine. So there are too many things that you can visit when you go down here in South America.
Yeah.
And also we have some options for those travelers that are coming to who are going to Antarctica, because the most popular port to start your expedition cruise to Antarctica is Ushuaia, as I mentioned before, right?
I was going to tie that in, yeah.
You can extend your Antarctic expedition and take an advantage that you're already here in Ushuaia to explore some of the Patagonia area.
Yeah.
That will be, very nice. And also something that maybe not a lot of people knows is that actually you can fly to Antarctica from South America.
Yeah.
And you can do that from Punta Arenas, from the Chilean side. And it is just a 2-hour flight. Of course, it's not a regular commercial flight. We have to put that together. Is a charter operation. And there is a company, one of our partners, that do a great program combining this flight, and you embark your expedition cruise there in the Antarctic Peninsula. You explore, on your expedition cruise, and you fly back, avoiding the sailing of the Drake Passage.
Yeah.
Some people call it the Passage of Honor, and some others call it a different way, right? It can be a bit shaky.
Yes. Well, and I want to wrap up here, but you bring up a great point in, cruising Antarctica, combining that with Patagonia. And I don't want to jump into this, but a little teaser, you can cruise Patagonia as well because of the fjord.
Totally.
So you can do a nice combination of land with, you mentioned the Explora Lodges, which are Virtuoso properties. So you can do a nice combination there, and then a cruise in through Patagonia with another Virtuoso partner.
Exactly. Actually, I'm very glad you brought it up, because there's another way to combine Patagonia from Punta Arenas to Ushuaia, and that is cruising the fjords, the Tierra del Fuego fjords. Tierra del Fuego is just the southernmost, place on Earth, or in this continent at least. It's where you have the Cape Horn area. That is also an iconic destination, and some people may have that in their bucket list. Yeah. And actually doing this expedition cruise, the Australis cruise, starting in Punta Arenas, you can visit the Cape Horn before ending your trip in Ushuaia. And it is an expedition cruise. So every day you will be exploring out there, doing very nice hikings and visiting places that otherwise there's no way to get there. Yeah. So that's the beauty of it. And it takes about 4 days to do that, 4 or 5 days, depending the route. And you can do it also all the way around. You start in Ushuaia and in Punta Arenas. So depending on how you want to arrange your, itinerary around the southern part of South America.
Yeah. This has been a fantastic conversation.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm very glad always to be speaking of Patagonia. I can be here hours telling you things about
Good. Well, and I've said that to a lot of people, gosh, we could talk for hours, but it's adventure travel and expeditionary, and it's really getting off the beaten path, which is what I love. So, but we'll save something for next time too. I'm sure our viewers will love to have you back to talk about some of the other South America options, you know, the Galapagos or Machu Picchu. We can touch more on the Atacama Desert. So thanks for coming and chatting with us.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for this opportunity, and I was very glad to have this discussion with you. Certainly, there are many more things to discuss about adventure travel in South America, and I'm here whenever you want to invite me to have a conversation. So, Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.